The Louvre Museum in Paris, perhaps the greatest art collection in the world, including its most famous and valuable painting, the Mona Lisa. It was painted by Leonardo da Vinci around 1505, and each year 5 million people come to admire her enigmatic smile. It had been hanging in the Louvre for 200 years when it was stolen in 1911, one of the few art crimes with a romantic motive. But what makes the Mona Lisa so special?
It's a very exceptional painting. The interest it attracts is also exceptional, and very understandable too, because it's an incredibly beautiful work of art.
On the 20th of August 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre. It spent the next 2 years under the bed of an Italian romantic. One Sunday night, Vincenzo Peruggia, an Italian immigrant who worked at the Louvre, sneaked into the museum with 2 accomplices and waited for the sun to rise. Robert Noah, author of The Man Who Stole the Mona Lisa, traced the thieves' footsteps.
There was nothing ingenious about the theft. It was incredibly simple. Your badge, your identification badge at the Louvre in those days was a white smock. If on cleaning day, which was Monday, you showed up in a white smock, nobody would ever think to question you. You belonged.
The thieves spent that Sunday night crowded together in a closet. The next day was cleaning day.
Okay, this is the closet that the 3 men went into and where they slept that night. And they came out into the Salon Carré, which at that point was where the Mona Lisa was hung. But they walked around in these white smocks and just waved and said hi to everybody, or however one says that in colloquial French. And they weren't noticed. They simply were not noticed.
There was no security to speak of at the Louvre in 1911. Homeless people could often be found sleeping in its galleries, and prostitutes spent time there in the hope of picking up wealthier clients. Peruggia hid the painting under his smock, and the thieves just walked out of the building. When the news of the robbery was made public, Parisians displayed an outpouring of public grief. It was as if a celebrity had died. Bizarrely, that summer of 1911, the Louvre experienced a surge of visitors who came to marvel at the empty space where the painting had hung.
There were headlines all over the world. The Louvre has them on files, and I have flipped through them, and I mean, the world was stunned. The world's most famous painting, which it was even then, is missing.
It's thought the theft was most probably commissioned by the notorious conman Val Fierno. He'd just ordered 6 forgeries of the Mona Lisa and was about to sell them to unscrupulous collectors in the US. To convince each of his buyers that their fake was real, the genuine Mona Lisa had to be stolen. While the French began a massive hunt for the painting, Val Fierno instructed the thief Peruggia to keep the real Mona Lisa concealed, while the conman duly sold his fakes.
He was a man who did what he was told, so he hid it under his bed. The Mona Lisa is under this guy's bed in this dingy apartment on the left bank in Paris. And it stayed there for 2 years. He had no idea what to do with it.
Until Peruggia saw an advert for an antique dealer in Florence offering to buy Italian paintings. The thief knew what to do with Gioconda. He'd take her back to Italy, where he believed she belonged.
And then he felt this incredible surge of patriotism. He's Italian. Leonardo, of course, was Italian. The painting was painted in Italy, and baby, it's time you went home.
But the moment Peruggia went public with the painting, things took a bad turn for him. What he didn't realise was that the Mona Lisa was simply too famous to be seen as merely an Italian work of art. Peruggia was arrested and the painting was returned to Paris. All the city was thrilled to have the Mona Lisa back on the wall she knew so well. If it is back, rumours still circulate claiming that the painting in the Louvre is not the genuine Leonardo, but one of the 6 copies made in 1911.
In our profession, you can never be sure of anything. But in this case, it is genuine because of the beauty. I mean, of the materials, the sublime quality of the painting, all the physical signs. If you look at it outside the display case, it's obviously a magnificent work. It's a masterpiece.